It's your birthday and we want you to have fun. It's your birthday. I forgot some of the words. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the recent horror film, Willy's Wonderland, which may or may not be a knockoff of the video game series Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, there's a few similarities. It is a Chuck E. Cheese style pizza restaurant with animatronic characters that come to life and attack a guy who needs to stay in the establishment overnight. In the video game, it's a security guard. In this movie, it's Nicolas Cage who has to clean the place up to get his car fixed. So yeah, you could say this is a knockoff, but apparently, from what I've heard, I think it's the writer or director, whoever it is, claims that it's not. It's just not. This isn't a knockoff of Five Nights at Freddy's, and there's no gay subtext in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. So knockoff or not, what's this movie about? The movie opens up with a scene where there's a couple being chased within the establishment, Willy's Wonderland, and they end up being killed by something. We don't get a look at it, but we can presume it's the animatronics. We also see that they have a little girl with them who I guess doesn't get killed. Is that important? We'll find out later. Let's move on. Skip ahead a few years, or more than a few years, but time frame doesn't matter here. We now meet our main protagonist, Nicolas Cage. I don't know what they call him. I don't think he has a name. I don't know what he's called in the credits or anything, but we're just going to refer to him as Nicolas Cage. This is a very interesting performance. He does not utter a single line of dialogue throughout this whole film. That's something you'll notice pretty quickly. First time I watched it, I was just sitting there waiting, like, when's he going to talk? What's he going to say? What's going on here? Yeah, we don't really learn a whole lot about Nicolas Cage's character either. He's just kind of speeding through town, and he ends up running over some spike things on the road. I don't know what those things are called. But yeah, so his tires go out, he ends up getting towed, brought to a mechanic. The mechanic tells him it'll cost X amount of money to fix your car. Nick Cage is getting ready to pay, but oh, they don't take credit cards, ATMs don't work, cash only. So he doesn't have cash, so they have to work out a deal. He has to clean up this restaurant, Willy's Wonderland, which has been out of business for years. Just overnight, clean it up, and the owner will fix his car for free. So I guess that seems like a good enough deal for Nick Cage. So while that's getting worked out, we meet another one of our main characters, generic teen girl. I don't remember her name, she's kind of boring. There's a group of teen characters, which we'll get to later, but they're all kind of boring. Kind of just exist to add a body count to the movie, which is, I guess, fine. Generic teen girl, she's trying to like throw gasoline on Willy's Wonderland. She wants to burn it down. She ends up getting arrested for trying to do this. Arson is a serious crime, even when you're trying to burn down spooky, haunted pizza places. Think about that. So I guess the sheriff or whatever, she's the caregiver of this girl, and she takes her back home and handcuffs her at home so she can't try and burn down this pizza place. Whatever, so she's just handcuffed at home until her friends show up and they pick the lock and set her free, and then they're all going to go burn down Willy's Wonderland. But while they're getting ready to do that, Nick Cage is at Willy's just kind of doing what he was supposed to. He's cleaning the place up, preparing things or whatever he can do. Periodically taking breaks to drink his punch energy drink. I think it's an energy drink, I don't know. He finds some weird pinball machine at some point. There's a weird cycle. He'll be cleaning, take a break, to drink a punch, and then rock that pinball machine. At one point, he's like in some weird pinball euphoria or whatever. I don't really know what you want to call that. You kind of feel like the whole time like this movie is setting things up that are going to be explained later. Like they set up, like Nick Cage makes eye contact with the teenage girl. Like, does he know her? Has he come and save her from this town? Nick Cage is like just a very mysterious character. You're like, what's his past? This is all very purposeful, right? Like he has some sort of plan. He came here on purpose. Yeah, they're setting a lot of things up. But just kidding, they're not setting anything up, and none of it goes anywhere. Like, while Nick Cage is getting into this groove of cleaning the place up, the animatronics start coming to life, and one at a time. It's not like a group effort or anything, it's just one at a time. I think the first one was like an ostrich character, comes to life and goes to attack him. It doesn't get far before Nick Cage just beats the crap out of this thing. Like, okay, he's probably like a Marine or something. He's trained for this, but it's never explained. Nothing's explained. Animatronic comes to life. Nick Cage is like, huh, that's interesting, but doesn't say it. He just emotes it with his eyes. And then he beats the crap out of it. And then he bags up all the parts and throws it away and gets back to cleaning. Like, nothing phases him. It's almost comical how easily you figured, like, these big animatronics are going to have bulky parts. They're probably going to hurt you if they attack you, and they're not. He's just wailing on them. I feel like this movie almost had a bit of an Evil Dead vibe, specifically the second movie, where it's just like, it's like Ash in the cabin by himself through a pretty good chunk of the movie, and it's just like him dealing with chaos, and then eventually more people come because we got to have that body count. I feel like they're going for a vibe like that, but it's not quite as good as that. Eventually the teens do show up. They're getting ready to burn the place down now. Makes me wonder why they couldn't organize this before. Like, it seems like it was just a little too easy to just show up at night and burn the place down, but whatever. So they're pouring gas on it, but then they're like, oh wait, Nick Cage is still inside. We got to get him out. We can't be burning innocent people alive. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but the kids do know that the animatronics are like cursed or whatever, so that's why. They're not just trying to be like angsty teens or whatever. Like, there's a reason. They know that they're killing people and they want to destroy the place for that reasoning. But they can't do it until they get Nick Cage out. So they all end up going inside the building, kind of like they had like an organized plan that just got like thrown to bits. So now they're all in the building, which means body count time, and one by one the animatronics do start killing these kids, which is great. I feel like a proper horror movie would have some kids get killed first and then show Nick Cage beat the crap out of them. I kind of feel like you need your monsters to look a little more intimidating at first. But whatever. This is basically a stupid movie. I think a lot of fun. I think this is a very enjoyable, wild ride. Flawed, yes, but a lot of fun. The best way I can describe this movie is that it feels like an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, because the logic is so flawed and stupid on an almost artistic level. I mean, I'm specifically thinking of the episode with like the creepy dummy, if you remember that. Like, there's just one Aqua Teen episode with a creepy dummy that just keeps going like, kill, kill. But then it like just kind of cuts back and they're just kind of like staring at this thing like nonchalantly, like, what's this creepy dummy doing here? Like, they're not even thinking that much about it. That's what this feels like. You're in this cursed restaurant filled with animatronic monsters and nonchalantly like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know, the whole thing's like really stupid, but on an interesting level, and I have to wonder, is it on purpose? It has to be a little on purpose, because I mean, some of the comedic timing just works out really great. To further demonstrate the Aqua Teen-like logic going on in this thing, it's like, you have the creepy vibe, you have these animatronics that will kill you, you have characters that know that they're there, yet for some reason, two of the characters decide, hey, let's sneak off in this room and do some sexual things. I'm debating if it was supposed to be like the spooky, evil magic of the animatronics was messing with their minds to make them do that, but why? So I'm just gonna assume that the characters are really dumb, and it just feels like something that would happen in an Aqua Teen episode. So yeah, they're doing this thing, and which puts them in a vulnerable situation where they are killed off. Yeah, it's artistically stupid. It makes no sense, but I think it might have been on purpose. What do you think about that? Did you like the movie? Yeah. Oh, thank you. But when the teens initially break into the building, they are trying to talk to Nick Cage. They're trying to tell him that he needs to get out because it's not safe, which obviously it's the only thing it's not safe for are the animatronics. Nick Cage is not worried about the situation, but they're trying to explain this to him. They explain a little bit about, not a little bit, like basically the whole thing about the lore. The restaurant was opened by I guess a cult of serial killers that were killing kids, and ended up doing a suicide pact to kill themselves all at once, and then kind of like put their energy into the animatronics, and then after that they were just killing the townspeople until the townspeople finally said, well, we'll bring you sacrifices if you leave us alone. Which seems a little ridiculous considering how easily Nick Cage is taking these things out. But whatever, I guess. Again, I'm going with just Aqua Teen Hunger Force logic. That just, if you view it through that lens, it's all so much better. I feel like I've given the basic gist of the kind of the plot, the storyline, everything like that. I don't want to give too much of anything away, but I do have some additional details that I just kind of want to talk about. One thing being Willy himself, Willy of Willy's Wonderland. They're building up to this character. He should be like this big, bad villain. He is not a force to be reckoned with. And you get to the final battle with him, like they're saving him for the end. He doesn't do anything until the end. So you're like, it's going to be good, right? And it's kind of just average. Like, it was a very underwhelming fight between Nick Cage and Willy. There's a battle going on with another animatronic character. It was like a medieval knight character. That went on a lot longer, I think. It was a lot more action-packed. What happened here that this character is getting more of a fight than the main villain? If I have one major issue, it's that they should have done more with the titular character. Let's get into the ratings now. I'm going to start off with the gore. With the gore, I'm going to maybe like a 6 out of 10. This is a gory movie. There's blood. There's some decent effects. But a lot of it felt like it could have been more, just more. Some of the kills are a little underwhelming. Like you have a character clawing at people and there's some blood and some chunks and bits. But it just doesn't feel like anything special. I don't know, like, you can watch a Friday the 13th movie, which I'm going to say has less gore than like this. Like Friday the 13th Part 6, just a random one, that's one of my favorites. As a whole, has less gore than Willy's Wonderland, but feels like the gore has more of an impact. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of like a little underwhelming on that. Creeps, I'm going to do a 2 out of 10, because it tried to have like some creepy vibes, but it didn't really work. This movie definitely functions more as a comedy, I think. Thrills, I did 0 out of 10. There's nothing thrilling about any of this. With the monsters, I'm going to do an 8 out of 10. It could have been a 10 out of 10 if they felt more like animatronics, but it just always felt like they are actors in costumes. They didn't really try to move like animatronics. I think maybe a few times they did. There's the one, the Siren Sarah character, pixie fairy thing. Sometimes I think she tried to kind of like get the animatronic movements down. But for the most part, they just kind of move like whatever. And then my overall rating, I'm going to do an 8 out of 10. Which I think is pretty good. That's just, very fun, entertaining movie. Some minor flaws that keep it from being a 10 out of 10, but overall I think that's pretty good. I kind of wish I didn't pay $15 to watch this movie, though, I'll be honest. I would have rather maybe paid $5. I think it's a $5 movie, not a $15 movie. Overall, I will say, if you just want to watch a stupid, goofy movie, definitely watch this. I think it's a fun movie. Is it the greatest movie ever made? Is it the greatest horror comedy ever made? No. I don't even know if it's the best horror movie about animatronic characters coming to life and killing people, which is definitely starting to become a subgenre. There's also the Banana Splits movie. I didn't watch that because I just didn't think that that's a thing I needed to do. But if you guys want to convince me otherwise, the Banana Splits movie is weird because I actually knew what the Banana Splits were before that, which most people just, I don't think, give a crap about the Banana Splits. Why are we talking about the Banana Splits now? Let's just end this video. Bye. See you next time.